What if one conversation topic could make your dream woman lean in closer? Ready to get better at talking to women? You're about to discover the best hypnotic conversation patterns women can't resist. She was bored until I said this and watched her eyes light up. Use this exact line and she'll forget her boyfriend existed. She'll be thinking about you for days. Stick around and let's dive into the hypnotic conversation patterns. They genuinely accelerate attraction.
Today, we're embarking on a pretty fascinating journey, not just into pleasant exchanges, but into really profound connections, sparking undeniable attraction.
Yeah, really understanding someone.
So it's all about unlocking that incredible power within your conversations, specifically for men looking to master the art of connecting with women.
That's right. And what's really fascinating here is how certain specific conversational patterns can, well, skillfully bypass the superficial layers.
Right.
Logic.
Right, the conscious stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And speak directly to deeper human desires, emotions. We're talking about more than just, what you say.
It's the how.
It is the how. It's the psychological architecture you're subtly building with your words. We'll be uncovering techniques that don't just, facilitate connection.
Yeah.
They genuinely accelerate attraction.
Wow.
And allow you to perceive and respond to others on a, frankly, profoundly deeper level. So yeah, get ready for some truly surprising insights. Might make you rethink every interaction.
Okay, I'm ready. Let's unpack this. Our first pattern, we've called it golden light. What's the purpose here?
The purpose is quite profound, actually. It's designed to evoke really powerful feelings, love, happiness within a woman.
Okay.
And crucially, to deeply connect those positive emotions directly to you.
Ah, so it's like an anchor.
It is. It's an emotional anchor.
Yeah.
This taps directly into the brain's inherent capacity for something psychologists call affective forecasting.
Affective forecast.
Yeah, it's our ability to mentally simulate kind of pre-experience future emotional states.
Yeah.
So when you guide someone to actively construct a symbol for their deepest positive feelings, right there in their mind,
Like having them build it.
you are, their brain actually treats this as a genuine internal experience, which makes the next step, the anchor.
Linking it too.
Linking that internal, self-generated emotional reality to your physical presence, maybe your touch, it makes it incredibly potent.
Because they created the feeling themselves.
Precisely. You're not just suggesting a feeling. You're helping her create it internally and then skillfully associating yourself with that profound self-created happiness.
Yeah.
It's about making her joy tangible, then linking it to you.
Okay, so how does this actually work in a real conversation? Step one.
Step one is all about setting the stage. You need to spark some curiosity, create a natural sort of playful opening.
Okay.
You might start by asking something like, hey, are you a visual person? Is it easy for you to imagine things?
Most people would say yes to that, right?
Most people will, yeah. And when she agrees, you follow up with a little bit of, intriguing context. Something like, someone I know, she's really into psychology, showed me something wild once.
Okay, building intrigue.
Yeah, a little method that apparently makes most people feel incredibly good. But, and here's the kicker, it really only works if you're quite visual.
Ah, so you're making it exclusive almost.
Exactly. The goal is to pique her interest, create an open, receptive atmosphere, like you're inviting her into a shared secret, a little discovery.
Got it. Then what? Because people might be skeptical.
They might, and that's crucial. You need to disarm that natural skepticism, our analytical, logical mind, right? It can sometimes block these deeper emotional processes.
Yeah, the overthinking part.
Totally. So you need to shift her into a receptive state. A key phrase here is something like, okay, I'll walk you through it, but look, you really have to be open to it. Try not to overthink it. Okay, just go with the flow so you can truly feel it. Agreed.
Agreed. Getting that buy-in.
Yes. That's not just a casual statement. It's a subtle but powerful request for her conscious mind to just step aside a little, allowing her subconscious to engage more fully with the experience. This state of heightened focus where the analytical mind quiets down, it's often called a light conversational trance.
Not like stage hypnosis?
No, definitely not clinical hypnosis, just a state of absorbed attention. Makes you more receptive to new experiences, emotional resonance.
Okay, so she's agreed, she's open. Now what?
Now you move to the core emotion, accessing her deepest affection. You gently guide her to recall a really profound feeling of love.
How do you phrase that?
You say something like, okay, think about the thing in the world you love most, something that makes you feel incredibly happy inside just thinking about it. Could be a person, a cherished memory, whatever truly comes to mind for you.
And you need to watch her reaction here, I guess.
Oh, absolutely. Be present. Observe her closely. Her eyes might soften, maybe light up a bit. That signals genuine engagement.
Finish nod.
If she seems disconnected or struggling, you can playfully suggest, maybe it's for another time then. Because her genuine participation is absolutely key. You can't force it.
Right. Okay, assuming she's engaged, feeling that positive emotion. What's next?
If she's deeply engaged, the next step is symbolizing that feeling, making it tangible, making it real for her subconscious.
How do you do that?
You ask her to describe this powerful emotion visually. Okay, can you feel it? Now, how would you describe this beautiful feeling that makes you so happy? What does it look like? What color is it? How big is it? And where do you feel it, like in your body?
Getting really specific.
Very specific. This direct inquiry helps her subconscious transform an abstract emotion into something concrete, perceivable, a symbol.
Like a ball of light.
Exactly, that's a common one. She might describe it as, say, a pulsating golden ball of light, small enough to fit in one hand right here in my chest.
Wow.
And when she articulates it, gives it form and color and location, the feeling becomes incredibly real for her, grounded in her sensory experience.
And here comes the anchor, right? Linking it to you.
This is where the crucial connection happens, manipulating that symbol and integrating your physical presence.
Gently, I assume.
Oh, absolutely, gently and appropriately. You guide the symbolic movement and connect it with touch. You'd say something like, okay, now imagine this golden ball of light, the one that feels so incredibly good, just floating from your chest directly into my hand.
So you mime holding it.
Yeah, you cup your hand slightly. I'm holding it now. All this wonderful feeling is right here. And the moment I gently touch your skin with it, you'll feel this incredible happiness, intensely, precisely where I touch you.
And then you touch her arm or hand.
Exactly. As you say this, gently touch her arm or hand. You can even integrate breathing.
Breathing.
Like now, take a short breath in and feel yourself inhaling this great feeling. Pause. And now breathe out. And you feel it landing back safely in my hand.
Wow, that sounds intense.
It is. This step is where the emotional connection becomes deeply physically linked to your presence. It's the critical juncture.
So you're associating yourself with her deepest happiness.
That's the essence of it. By carefully guiding this intense emotional experience and then associating it with your physical touch, you subconsciously link yourself to profound happiness and love, a powerful, positive emotional anchor.
But you need the right setting, right?
Absolutely. Because of its intensity, it's best used in a calm, established setting where there's already a basic level of trust.
Makes sense.
The aim is always to build a deep, genuine connection. Ensure she feels safe, understood, not overwhelmed.
Any tips for practicing this? It sounds like it needs finesse.
It does. Practice is simple but crucial. Try visualizing the steps yourself first. Or maybe try it with a trusted platonic friend, just to get a feel for the emotional impact it creates.
So you understand it from the inside out.
Exactly, and focus on a calm, confident, relaxed delivery. That maximizes the effect.
Okay, golden light. Powerful stuff. Let's move on. What's next?
Next, we come to a pattern we call the onion girl.
The onion girl. Okay, tell me more.
This one's specifically designed to help women who might appear, well, cold or unapproachable.
The ones with the walls up.
Precisely. To help them genuinely open up, maybe reveal their softer, more vulnerable side.
What's the psychology behind that? Why does that work?
It's quite insightful, actually. Many individuals who seem distant aren't inherently cold. They've often built emotional walls, layers, as a defense mechanism.
Protection.
Usually a response to past hurts, maybe betrayals, significant disappointments. And while these defenses are protective, they can inadvertently hinder deep, authentic connection.
Right. They keep everyone out, good and bad.
Exactly. So the onion girl metaphor, it serves multiple purposes. First, it helps her recognize her own protective layers. Second, it validates her experience. It shows you understand why those walls are there.
You're not judging her for it.
Not at all. And third, it subtly encourages her to let her guard down because you're approaching her with understanding, not judgment. You're naming her experience, which can make someone feel incredibly seen.
So how do you actually start this conversation? Seems delicate.
It requires a thoughtful approach. You initiate it with an almost philosophical observation, delivered calmly, with deep, empathetic eye contact, as if it's a genuine insight you've just had about her.
Like what?
You might say, gently, I have a feeling you might be an onion girl.
Okay, that's going to get a reaction. What on earth is an onion girl?
Exactly. And when she asks that, perhaps with a little frown, you respond slowly, thoughtfully, almost philosophically.
Wow.
That's a person who has built many layers around herself. On the outside, where everyone sees, she has this tough, almost invulnerable layer. It seems like nothing can harm her.
Painting a picture of her defenses.
Yes. Then you continue, elaborating on the metaphor, drawing her deeper into self-reflection.
Mhm.
But once you look behind that first layer, you see she actually has many more layers, and they become progressively softer, gentler towards the inside.
Like a real onion.
Precisely. This builds a clear internal picture of her emotional architecture. Then, you empathetically address the likely root cause of her guardedness. This often resonates very deeply because it taps into a common, often unspoken experience.
What would you say?
Something like, I assume. Maybe it's because you've been hurt before. Perhaps by someone you let get close. And that's why you've developed this kind of cool demeanor that protects you, like a shell.
That could definitely hit home for a lot of people.
It often does.
Oh.
It shows you understand her inner world without her needing to spell it out. It validates her past pain, in a way.
Okay, so you've shown understanding. What's the next step?
You then deepen the reflection. Gently prompt her towards a subtle, maybe a call for change, by linking her current protected state to potential lost opportunities for happiness.
How do you phrase that carefully?
You'd say something like, but what's genuinely sad about that? The really sad thing is, maybe you're so focused on protecting yourself from being hurt again, that you're no longer letting in all the wonderful people you could meet, people who would make you happy.
That's a powerful thought.
And by doing that, you're kind of inadvertently allowing the person or the situation that hurt you before to continue harming you now, as long as you don't open up to new experiences, new connections.
Wow. And maybe a subtle gesture towards yourself here.
Possibly.
Right.
Or simply holding her gaze intently can gently connect the idea of new happiness or new connections to your presence. It's subtle.
And how do you conclude this pattern?
The pattern concludes with profound empathy. This often leads to a powerful emotional release, a significant shift in her demeanor. You say, very gently, and you know what I think? I think deep down inside, you're really just a sweet, sensitive soul who maybe sometimes just wants to be held and understood.
That sounds incredibly validating.
It is. The effectiveness lies in that deep validation and the gentle reframing. You're not criticizing her guardedness. You're showing you get why it's there. The metaphor influences her self-perception. Opening up to overcoming past pain and embracing new happiness creates a strong internal incentive.
Yeah.
And that final statement, it taps into a universal human desire for comfort, safety, understanding. It often causes that outer coldness to just dramatically melt away.
Any practice tips for delivering this? Seems like tone is everything.
Tone is everything. Deliver these lines with genuine empathy, a calm, spontaneous feel, like they're real observations, not a script.
Be authentic.
Absolutely. And be prepared for a potentially strong emotional response. If she becomes vulnerable, be ready to offer comfort, understanding. The goal is simply to create a safe space, a space where she feels seen, understood, and can genuinely open up, leading to a deeper, more trusting connection.
Okay, the onion girl. Very insightful. What's pattern number 3?
Our next pattern is called sexual freedom. This one is incredibly powerful, designed to address that common societal double standard that often hinders intimacy for women.
Ah, the classic double standard. Yeah, tell me about navigating that.
This pattern directly confronts and, hopefully, disarms the societal pressure that can make women hesitant. Hesitant to embrace intimacy, even with someone they genuinely like, right? Out of fear of being perceived negatively.
The fear of judgment.
Exactly. Psychologically, men often get praised Casanova, ladies' man, for sexual experience.
Yeah.
Women, for the same thing, can face harsh judgment, get labeled pejoratively.
It's deeply unfair.
It is. And this stark double standard creates a real internal conflict for many women. So this pattern strategically reframes quick intimacy, not as being easy, but as a mark of empowerment, self-respect, high value. It directly challenges and disarms that deep-seated fear. It's about creating a judgment-free zone.
How do you initiate that? Seems like a sensitive topic.
You start by highlighting that pervasive double standard, but maybe in a slightly detached observational way. You might say, something I find truly unfair.
Okay, leading with a question.
Yeah. What do people typically say about a man who's been intimate with many women? He's often immediately called a Casanova or a ladies' man, isn't he?
She'll almost certainly agree with that.
Almost certainly.
Yeah.
Then you gently pivot to the female perspective. But what if a woman has been intimate with multiple men? What do people usually say about her then?
And you'll probably see some hesitation there.
You likely will. Maybe a subtle discomfort, as she considers the negative terms society often uses.
So what do you do then?
It's crucial here to immediately acknowledge and then firmly dismiss that negative societal labeling. Position yourself as an ally.
How?
You'd say something like, exactly. They often use dismissive terms like slut or cheap. And frankly, I think that's incredibly unfair. I genuinely hate that kind of judgmental language.
Showing immediate respect.
Your sincere dismissal signals respect, aligns you against that judgment. It's profoundly effective because you're signaling, I will never judge you for your choices around intimacy. You're creating a space of acceptance right there.
Okay, that's powerful. What follows?
You then articulate your genuine perspective. Hopefully, it is a genuinely held belief for this to work authentically. You continue. Quite the opposite, actually. I have the greatest respect for women who live their lives fully, enjoy every moment, and make choices based on what they truly want, not what others dictate or judge.
That makes sense.
I mean, we men are generally free to express our sexuality, right? So why on earth shouldn't women be allowed the same freedom and respect? This powerfully aligns you with her innate desire for autonomy, self-determination. She'll likely instinctively agree, feel deeply understood and supported.
So you've established yourself as non-judgmental. Is there more to it?
Yes, to further elevate your position and differentiate yourself, you introduce the compelling distinction. You say, I've noticed that typically only two types of people talk about women like that.
Ooh, creating curiosity. Who are they?
Exactly, she'll want to know. First type. The first are other women who perhaps harbor some jealousy or insecurity themselves, and so they might try to subtly diminish or put down others, maybe in the eyes of men like me.
Ah, subtly boosting your own value there, too.
It subtly implies other women might compete for your attention, yes. Implicitly boosts perceived value and reframes those negative labels as maybe stemming from envy.
Okay, who's the second type?
And the second type, you continue, are those truly frustrated individuals. Maybe guys who have faced rejection themselves, struggle to form genuine connections, and they think it makes them cool or superior to label women like that.
So you're clearly putting judgmental guys in the frustrated box.
Precisely. It effectively categorizes them as frustrated and clearly places you in the non-judgmental understanding category. Differentiates you significantly from maybe the majority of other men you might encounter.
Okay, that makes sense. Is that the end of the pattern?
Almost. The crucial final step, often used in influential conversational techniques, is an abrupt shift in focus, a pattern interrupt.
How does that work here?
You conclude with something like, okay, wow, that got a little too serious for a moment there. Let's grab another drink. Or change the topic completely.
Why the sudden shift?
This sudden shift prevents her logical mind from overanalyzing your previous statements, questioning your motives. It lets the powerful, liberating subconscious message, he respects my freedom, he's not judgmental, settle deeply without conscious resistance.
And it sinks in better.
Exactly. By shifting the topic, you subtly communicate. You've just expressed your genuine beliefs, not said something calculated to get a specific response. This reframing helps her overcome that internal conflict, allows her to feel empowered to act on her genuine desires without fear of judgment from you.
Practice tips for this one. Seems like conviction is key.
Conviction is absolutely key. Deliver these lines with genuine belief in women's autonomy. And that quick shift in tone and topic at the end, vital for it to land effectively without seeming manipulative. The aim is always to create a judgment-free space where she feels empowered, fostering a connection built on mutual respect and understanding.
Sexual freedom. Got it. Okay, let's move to the next one. You called it Challenging Superficiality.
That's right. This is a strikingly counterintuitive approach, but it can be incredibly effective for, let's say, disarming overly arrogant individual.
Arrogant based on looks, you mean?
Often, yes, and encouraging a deeper connection based on character, not just the surface.
Okay, how does that work psychologically? Seems risky.
It can be, so it needs careful application. The psychological underpinning is quite clever, though. Many outwardly confident, even arrogant people, especially if they're highly valued for their appearance, often carry hidden insecurities.
From the past, maybe.
Maybe from childhood, earlier experiences. This pattern doesn't attack her. Instead, it creates an immediate pattern interrupt. A jolt to her usual dynamic, right? To dismantle that haughty demeanor.
Okay.
And then, importantly, it redefines a potentially sensitive past perception, or even just the idea of not being perfect, into a highly positive character trait. It makes her feel uniquely seen, genuinely complimented, in a completely unexpected way. It's about looking beyond the surface.
How do you start this? It sounds like you need confidence.
You definitely need confidence. You start with a bold, disarming question, delivered with a calm, direct gaze, maybe a slight mischievous glint. Allow her a moment of genuine, almost confused surprise.
What's the question?
You might ask, quite directly, were you ever, like, fat before? Or have you ever been on the heavier side?
Whoa. Okay, that is bold. That would get attention.
It seizes 100% of her attention, instantly, breaks down her typical conversational guard. It either taps into a genuine past insecurity, or it simply implies you see beyond her current appearance. Both are disarming and set you apart.
Okay, my heart's pounding just thinking about asking that. What happens after the shock?
Immediately after allowing that moment of surprise to register, you follow up with a powerful reframe. You don't wait for a defensive answer. You explain.
Explain what?
What I've often noticed is that individuals who have always been seen as conventionally perfect maybe always have their every wish granted. They can sometimes be very spoiled, you just notice it.
Okay, setting up a contrast.
Exactly. On the other hand, people who didn't necessarily fit those conventional standards earlier in life, perhaps because they were heavier or just different, they often had to really work on developing their character early on to get ahead in life, you know? They couldn't always just lazily rely on looks.
That actually makes a lot of sense, highlighting resilience.
It speaks to a universal truth about resilience, inner growth. It often resonates.
And then the conclusion, the compliment part.
Then you deliver the powerful, unexpected conclusion. You look at her thoughtfully and say, you have the personality of someone who might have been a bit heavier back then. And then a crucial half-second pause. And that, to me, is a genuine compliment.
Wow, that pause is key, isn't it?
Absolutely key. It maximizes the impact, allows the initial shock of the provocative statement, you have the personality of a fat girl, to register. Before the reframe, that's a compliment, transforms it entirely.
So she feels valued for her inner strength, not just her looks.
Precisely. It makes her feel uniquely understood, valued for inner qualities. Any superficial arrogance often just melts away quite quickly.
Practice tips. This seems high stakes.
It is high stakes. It demands precise timing, unwavering confidence. The humor, the reframe, they only work if delivered smoothly, without hesitation, right after the initial provocative question. And it's a very specific tool, best reserved for situations where someone genuinely exhibits excessive self-importance based only on external appearance.
Use with caution.
Extreme caution. The intent is always to encourage connection based on deeper traits, never to insult or belittle.
Okay, challenging superficiality. A bold one. What's next on the list?
Next, we dive into friend destroyer, which sounds dramatic, but it's actually a very sophisticated method.
Friend destroyer. What does it destroy?
Well, hopefully nothing. It's about allowing women who might be in unfulfilling relationships to recognize their own dissatisfaction. Crucially, without you ever directly criticizing their partner.
The classic mistake. Don't badmouth the boyfriend.
Exactly. That almost invariably backfires. It triggers what psychologists call cognitive dissonance.
Explain that again quickly.
It's the discomfort we feel holding two conflicting beliefs. Like, my choice of partner is good, versus my partner actually has significant flaws. To ease that discomfort, the mind naturally defends the existing choice. He's not that bad, I'm happy, etc.
Right, self-justification.
Exactly. So this friend destroyer pattern skillfully bypasses that defense. It subtly plants doubt, not by attacking, but by activating a kind of search mode in her mind. It prompts her to internally evaluate her relationship's shortcomings herself.
So you're not saying he's bad.
Never. You're gently guiding her to realize it for herself, if it's true for her.
How does that work? What do you say?
Instead of negative comments, you express exaggerated positive assumptions about her current relationship, but assumptions that are likely not true if the relationship is indeed unfulfilling.
Give me an example.
You might say with genuine, almost naive positivity, wow, I bet he's amazing. He probably still brings you flowers constantly, right?
Yeah.
Just like at the beginning.
Okay.
And surprises you regularly, tells you how much he loves you all the time. You guys do exciting things together constantly. I bet you've never once doubted if he's the right one to spend the rest of your life with.
Whoa. Laying it on thick, but positively.
Exactly. The brilliance here is her mind will automatically review her memories, Not necessarily to confirm your statements, but to seek out instances where they don't hold true.
Ah, the search mode. It looks for the exceptions.
Precisely.
Mm.
Does he bring me flowers constantly?
No.
Well, no.
Yeah.
Does he surprise me? Not really. It causes her to spontaneously recall the partner's flaws, her own dissatisfaction.
And she might even volunteer that information.
Often, yes, she might say, well, actually, or it's funny you say that because you've just handed her the internal contrast on a silver platter. The genius is you never directly criticized him,
You let her come to her own conclusion.
which is far more powerful because it feels like her insight, not your attack. You become the understanding confidant she might have been looking for because you subtly understood her situation without her having to spell it out.
Can this be applied more broadly?
Yes, the framework applies anytime you want someone to internally recall a contrasting reality. Like,
Yeah.
I bet you've never had a truly mind-blowing conversation that lasted all night. Her mind searches for confirmation or denial.
Practice tips for this friend destroyer.
Formulate statements describing ideal partner behaviors or relationship scenarios that are likely missing from her current experience if you suspect dissatisfaction. Deliver them with genuine, almost naive positivity. Zero sarcasm.
And watch her reaction.
Watch her nonverbals closely. The shift in her eyes, a slight frown, a sigh. They can tell you everything. Remember, the source material suggests this is for situations where a woman seems already dissatisfied, helping her acknowledge her own unhappiness and open up. Not for breaking up happy couples.
Got it. Ethical use is key. Okay, moving on. Dream man. This sounds fundamental.
It is. Dream man is a universally applicable pattern. Great for uncovering a woman's deepest desires in a partner and subtly positioning yourself as potentially aligning with that ideal. It's a staple for genuine understanding.
What's the core idea?
Simple but profound. The bait must taste good to the fish, not the fisherman. Right. Successful connection comes from truly understanding what someone deeply desires and then subtly demonstrating you embody those qualities.
Makes sense.
And a woman's dream man qualities often reveal what was profoundly lacking in her past relationships. That makes them incredibly powerful indicators for connection.
So asking about them is like getting a map to her desires.
Exactly. You're not just gathering info. You're inviting her to project her deepest romantic ideals onto the conversation, and potentially onto you.
Why do you ask?
You ask directly, but maybe with a playful twist, inject some humor. Okay, hypothetical situation. If you imagine your absolute dream man, what, say, 3 qualities does he absolutely have to have? And, lean in conspiratorially, I mean, only character traits I don't want to hear about, 6-packs or fancy cars.
Haha, okay, that lightens the mood.
Usually gets a laugh, builds rapport.
Sure.
If she laughs loudly, you can add playfully. Now, stop thinking about the superficial stuff. Seriously, pull yourself together. We're trying to have a deep conversation here.
That shows confidence too.
Bold, playful confidence. Shows you're comfortable, self-assured.
Yeah.
Okay, so she lists qualities, maybe loyal, protective, someone my family likes.
What do you do with that information?
You can offer an insightful observation first. Psychologically, to answer that, people often mentally review past relationships, identifying what wasn't there.
Right, the gaps.
So you might say, it's interesting. Often when people answer that question, they subconsciously go through their exes in their head and usually mention the qualities those partners didn't have.
Giving her a chance to acknowledge past hurts, feel understood.
Exactly. Makes her feel like you're reading her mind, almost. Then, importantly, you pivot. You demonstrate your standards, high value, selectivity. You say something like, so for me, my dream woman.
Yeah.
Well, she's got to be genuine, kind of classy in public, but really passionate and adventurous behind closed doors, and loves to laugh and grow together.
Okay, bold. Shows you have standards too.
Very bold. Shows you know what you want, implicitly makes her subtly wonder if she qualifies for you. It flips the script, positions you as selective, which is often attractive. It mirrors those classic romantic stories, right? The discerning hero finally captivated.
So you've got her ideal traits, you've shown your standards. How do you show you have her desired traits without just bragging?
Stories. Never boast. Use anecdotes. Let's say she valued protective. You don't say, I'm protective, you tell a story.
Like the one you mentioned earlier.
Exactly. Recount something like, I remember this one time, an old friend called me, middle of the night, sounded really scared, said, hey, I think someone's following me. And I immediately told her, okay, deep breath. Find the nearest open, well-lit place, like a 24-hour diner or something. Go inside, order a coffee, keep me on the phone, stay calm. I'm on my way right now.
So the story shows calmness, competence, protectiveness.
Precisely. She infers the quality herself. That self-discovery on her part, wow, he embodies what I value, is profoundly more impactful than you just stating it.
Practice tips for Dream Man.
Reflect on your life. Identify concise, engaging stories that naturally showcase positive, attractive traits. Practice telling them so they feel authentic, unrehearsed. And be ready to confidently pivot to your own standards. Show you're discerning. The aim is genuine connection, understanding her values, presenting your authentic self resonantly. Fosters deeper, more honest relationships.
Makes sense. Build a library of your own stories. Okay, next up, Beauty is Fleeting. Another intriguing title.
Yes, this is a potent, quite direct approach for encouraging extremely, let's say, vain individuals to look beyond the superficial, to embrace deeper connection. It's another very specific tool for specific situations.
So not for everyone, only when someone's really overly focused on their looks.
Exactly. The strategic timing and purpose are key. It's designed to gently reduce arrogance by tapping into a common underlying awareness or maybe fear the impermanence of physical beauty and the deeper human need for lasting connection. Misapplication could be really counterproductive.
So you're challenging the illusion of perfection to foster something deeper.
That's the goal. You're trying to foster a more profound bond by shifting the focus.
How do you even begin this one?
You could set it up indirectly. Maybe ask a lighthearted question first, like, what are some of the most outlandish, maybe cringy pickup lines you've ever heard? Get a shared laugh.
Okay, break the ice.
Then gracefully shift to the core message. You can say something like, it's interesting. Many people act as if physical beauty is the ultimate prize. They almost worship others just for their looks, right? Like seeing them as these perfect Greek statues, flawless.
Okay, the statue metaphor.
But, you continue thoughtfully, what they don't always realize is that the closer they get to that statue, the more they inevitably notice. The small cracks, the little irregularities in the facade, all the little imperfections and unevenness that make us human.
Acknowledging imperfection.
The statue is still beautiful, of course, you clarify, but far from as perfect as they initially believed. And naturally, as time passes, its surface beauty will change. This subtly highlights the superficiality of only worshiping looks and the natural, inevitable changes in physical attractiveness.
So you're saying I see beyond the surface.
Exactly. It communicates you see beyond that, acknowledging the imperfections everyone has, making her realize external beauty isn't an absolute shield or her sole value. That's the first part, subtly planting a deeper thought.
Then what? Is there more?
Then you illustrate this with a relatable anecdote. Crucially, frame it about a friend to avoid direct accusation. Makes it a universal lesson, not a personal attack.
Give me an example of that story.
You can say, a good friend of mine actually faced a real challenge with this. In her early 20s, she was stunning. Guys were constantly falling over themselves. But maybe because she was quite superficial back then, honestly, she just didn't know any better yet. She always ended up with partners who weren't really interested in her as a person, just her looks.
Setting up the consequence.
Yes. So as she got a bit older and naturally more younger, conventionally beautiful women entered the scene. Well, time flew by until one day her partner left her for someone younger, perceived as more beautiful.
Ouch. A cautionary tale.
A gentle cautionary tale. You conclude with a moral. That's why it's so incredibly important, especially maybe as a woman in our society, to be with someone who truly loves you for who you are, someone you can really talk to, share your thoughts with, who genuinely suits you. So you're not alone when physical beauty naturally begins to change over time.
So the story delivers the sobering message without blaming her directly.
Exactly. It taps into a subconscious concern many people harbor, encouraging a shift towards valuing deeper, more meaningful connections. The overall impact is profound. You see beyond the surface, acknowledge natural changes, and offer a path to something more enduring than superficial flattery.
Practice tips for this delicate one.
Deliver the metaphor and story with a thoughtful, almost empathetic tone, not judgmental. The goal is inspiring introspection, a shift in perspective, not insulting. And remember, very specific tool for very specific situations. Use it to foster a more substantial interaction by valuing her for more than just looks.
Okay, beauty is fleeting. Use wisely. Next, inner drive.
Inner drive. This is an incredibly rapid and insightful way to discover what truly motivates someone, what drives a woman at her core. Cut straight to the heart of things.
How does it work? Why are people open to this?
It taps into a universal human curiosity. Self-discovery. People are inherently fascinated by themselves, right? Their desires, aspirations, challenges, hidden motivations. This pattern goes beyond just superficial wants. I want a new car. It reveals the underlying emotions she's truly seeking in life.
Not just the goal, but the feeling behind the goal.
Precisely. You're pinpointing the deep feelings associated with her aspirations, her fundamental yearning.
How do you kick this off?
You start by sparking her curiosity directly. Assume a natural interest. Most people love talking about themselves. You say something like, hey, let's try something cool. A friend showed this to me once. It's really remarkable what you can learn about yourself. Just 3 short questions, but the result often surprises people. Ready?
Confident initiation. Okay, question 1.
Question 1 gets to the foundational need. If you had to pick just one thing you absolutely must have in your life for it to feel truly amazing, what would that one thing be? Only one has to be the most important by far.
And her answer reveals.
Often subtly hints at what she feels she currently lacks or deeply craves. Like financial security might point to money worries. Good health might point to current physical challenges. It immediately reveals her perceived void or greatest aspiration.
Okay, makes sense. Question 2.
Question 2 prompts for action. Okay, interesting. Now, if you had that one thing, for example, the financial security, what would you then do with it? What actions would you take?
So this reviews her desired lifestyle if the need was met.
Exactly. She might say, I'd quit my awful job, I'd travel the world, I'd start my own business, I'd spend more time with family. It helps you understand her ideal future actions, how she envisions life unfolding.
Got it. And the third question, the jackpot.
This is it. Question 3 drills down to the emotional core. Okay, last question. How would you feel if you could truly do those things? If you could actually tell your boss what you think, sleep in every day, never worry about rent again.
Focusing on the feeling.
This is the critical question. It pinpoints the fundamental emotions she secretly craves. She doesn't really want just the money or the new job. She wants the feeling.
Freedom, security, peace.
Exactly. Freedom, security, feeling respected, peace, adventure, whatever it is for her. Understanding these core feelings lets you connect on an incredibly profound level. You now know her deepest, often unspoken motivations.
And you can then align with those feelings.
Subtly, yes. You can indicate how connecting with you might help her move towards or experience aspects of those desired feelings. How do you wrap this up? Don't want to leave it hanging heavily.
Right.
Conclude playfully. Gently shift the focus, break the intensity. You might add with a smile, okay, that's your deep insight for the day. You can Venmo me the therapist fee later.
Nice. Practice tips for inner drive.
Approach the questions with genuine curiosity. Really listen for the feelings behind the answers, not just the literal words. Always follow up with, and how would that make you feel to get to the emotional core? Use the insight to genuinely understand and connect. Build rapport and trust through profound empathy.
Okay, inner drive, very direct. Next pattern.
Our next pattern, that's me, is critical. Incredibly versatile for creating deep emotional bonds. It's about revealing your authentic self and gracefully avoiding generic stereotypes.
Why is avoiding stereotypes so important for connection?
Because the human mind naturally uses shortcuts, right?
Yeah.
Categories, stereotypes, autocompletion. When you just slap a generic label on yourself, I'm an engineer, I'm in marketing, the listener's mind often fills in the blanks with preconceived notions.
Which might be totally wrong or limiting.
Exactly. True connection flourishes when you transcend those stereotypes. When you share your unique experiences, your personal history, it makes her feel like she knows the real you, not just a job title or a label. You're giving her richer, more specific data points to build her mental picture of you.
So how do you share that authentically?
You can start by disarming expectations, inviting her into your personal story. When asked about your job or maybe what you wanted to be growing up, you might say, well, it might sound a bit nostalgic. That kind of opening permits almost anything personal. But as a child, I was always drawing these fantastical landscapes and creatures all over my hands and arms. You could even playfully gesture on your own arm. Because I always dreamed of being an explorer, discovering new worlds.
Sharing a childhood dream, that's vulnerable.
It is. And vulnerability builds connection. Then, crucially, reciprocate. What about you? What did you always dream of being as a child? This invites her to share her own early dreams, creates a powerful loop of mutual emotional disclosure.
What about showing attractive traits without sounding like you're bragging?
Skillfully weave anecdotes from different phases of your life. Instead of saying, I was popular, you could say, looking back at school, it's funny. I was always the one somehow elected class president every year. Or maybe in high school, a lot of the girls would come to me for advice. And honestly, I didn't even fully understand why back then.
So it demonstrates leadership or desirability implicitly.
Exactly. It's shown through narrative, not stated as a fact about yourself.
And you can use this for specific traits she values, like protectiveness.
Absolutely. Embed it in a compelling anecdote, like we discussed with Dream Man, the story about the friend calling late at night, scared.
Right, the someone's following me story.
That story vividly demonstrates calmness under pressure, capability to protect, allowing her to infer those qualities about you. The key is telling stories that evoke the desired feeling or quality. Paint a picture. Don't just list adjectives.
So building a personal narrative is key.
Sharing authentic stories, childhood onwards, lets her truly know the real you, bypassing judgments. Stories are just more engaging than facts. They create vivid mental images, emotional connections.
And you subtly weave in attractive qualities.
Through the narrative, yes.
Right.
Makes them feel like natural discoveries, not forced self-promotion. And your openness encourages her to share her stories, creates that powerful cycle of mutual disclosure, profound connection.
So the practice tip is,
Build a repertoire of your own stories. Reflect on your life, key moments, challenges overcome, times you showed positive traits. Craft them into concise, engaging narratives. Focus on the emotion, the message. Practice telling them so they sound natural, authentic. The goal is presenting your best, authentic self, fostering genuine connection.
that's me. Seems fundamental for any real connection.
Yeah.
Okay, last one. The cube. I've heard of this one.
Yes, the cube. It's a renowned visualization game, and it's incredibly powerful for creating deep emotional closeness, often very early in an interaction. A true classic in understanding core personality aspects playfully.
Why is it so effective? What's the mechanism?
It's a fascinating psychological mind game. It uses a series of symbolic questions about a shared, imagined landscape, usually a desert.
Okay.
The answer she provides about these symbolic elements, the cube itself, a ladder, flowers, a horse, a storm, when subtly interpreted, can reveal profound insights. Insights into her personality, her self-view, her relationships, ambitions, how she deals with challenges.
But how can it be so accurate?
The brilliance lies partly in the open interpretation. You tailor the feedback based on her answers, but the interpretations are often based on widely applicable psychological principles or universal truths. So they resonate deeply, making her feel uniquely understood. Almost like you can, as you said, read her soul just by listening to her creative responses.
How do you start the cube?
Initiate it playfully.
Yeah.
Hey, have you ever done the cube? Simple, curiosity-provoking. Grabs attention immediately.
Okay.
Then build a little intrigue and credibility. A close friend of mine, she's a psychologist, did this game with me once.
Mm-hmm.
And it was honestly incredible how accurately it seemed to apply, how much I learned about myself. Okay, want to try. Here's how it goes.
And you mentioned touch earlier.
Yes. As you set the scene, you can subtly direct her attention. Maybe use a hand gesture for the vastness of the desert. This can naturally open an opportunity for a light, appropriate touch, like a gentle hand briefly on her arm or shoulder. Establishes early rapport, makes it feel more shared.
Okay, lay out the steps. What are the elements?
All right, step one, the desert. Okay, just imagine a huge desert landscape. Picture it stretching out in your mind. Use that expansive hand gesture.
Got it. Desert. Step 2.
Step two, the cube. Okay, somewhere in this desert landscape you find a cube. Just appears there. Now, I want you to describe this cube for me. What's it like? Is it big or small? Is it transparent or opaque? Is it floating or is it sitting on the ground?
And the cube represents?
Subtly linked to her ego, her self-concept, self-confidence. After she answers, say, my cube's pretty small, and it's opaque, sitting on the sand. You just nod thoughtfully. Say, okay, interesting. Don't interpret yet. Build curiosity. Let her imagination work.
Okay, cube. What's element 3?
Element 3, the ladder. Okay, that was the first thing. The second thing in the picture is a ladder. Describe the ladder. Where is it? Is it leaning against the cube or is it somewhere else? Is it tall or rather short? Does it have many rungs or just a few?
And the ladder symbolizes?
Her ambitions, her goals, how she approaches achieving them. Again, just listen, nod. Okay.
Element 4.
Element 4, the flowers. All right, somewhere in this picture, there are also flowers. Where are the flowers?
Yeah.
Are there many or just a few? What are they like?
Flowers. Friends. Social life.
Exactly. Symbolizes her friends, her social circle, her connection to them.
Okay, element 5. Getting complex.
Element 5, the stallion. Okay, nearly there. The second to last thing in the picture is a stallion.
Yeah.
A horse, a male horse. What's the horse like? Describe it. And if she just describes its appearance, gently prompt for more.
How?
Okay. And what about its personality? What character traits does the horse have? Is it brave, loyal, wild, calm. What's it truly like?
And the stallion is her ideal partner.
Generally interpret that way, yes.
Yeah.
Her description often reveals core traits she seeks in a partner.
Wow. Okay, the last element.
The final element,
Uh-huh.
whirlwind or storm. Okay, last question. Somewhere in this picture, there's a whirlwind or maybe a storm brewing. Where is it? Is it far away or is it close? What happens to the things in the picture? The cube, ladder, flowers, horse. Does the storm blow them around or does it pass by them?
And the whirlwind represents.
How she perceives and deals with problems, challenges, chaos in her life.
Okay, she's described everything. Now comes the interpretation part. How do you do that effectively?
The interpretation strategy is crucial. The key is always to interpret her answers positively and in a way that resonates with universal truths, making her feel deeply understood and validated.
Give me examples for the cube interpretations.
Okay, cube, ego, self-confidence. If she said small cube, interesting. Sounds like you're not as conceited as many other attractive people can be. Maybe you're quite humble, even though you probably have reasons to be proud. Opaque. So you likely take time to truly open up to people. You don't give away your trust superficially. Floating suggests you're adaptable, can navigate different situations. On the ground means you're grounded, practical, down to earth. See how they're positive reframes.
Yeah, they all sound like compliments almost. Okay, ladder interpretations.
Ladder, ambitions, goals. Tall ladder. Wow, sounds like you have really high goals. Big dreams for yourself. Always striving. Leading on the cube. Suggests your goals are really strongly linked to your identity, your personal growth. Low ladder means you're very grounded, you set realistic, achievable goals you know you can reach. Again, all positive takes.
Flowers, friends.
Flowers. Friend social circle, many flowers. Sounds like you have a vibrant social circle, lots of connections, but maybe you're selective about the few you let truly close. Few flowers. Suggests you might have a smaller circle, but the friends you do have, you can rely on 100%. They're your true inner circle, right? Universally relatable, feels personal.
The stallion. How do you interpret her ideal partner description?
Stallion, ideal partner. This one's more direct. Her description reveals qualities she seeks. If she says wild, strong, protective, you can playfully connect it back. So you value a partner who is independent, maybe a bit adventurous, but also someone who could be a steady protective force when needed. This allows you to subtly align yourself if those are traits you possess.
And finally, the whirlwind. Problem.
Whirlwind, dealing with problems. If it blows things around but they return to normal. Wow, sounds like you maybe face significant challenges, but you're incredibly resilient. You always bounce back, maybe even stronger, learning from everything, if the storm is far away. Suggests you probably prefer to avoid conflict if possible, navigate challenges peacefully and proactively. It often elicits a powerful response like, how did you know that?
Because the interpretations are insightful, but positive and general enough.
Exactly. The power of the cube is immense. It engages curiosity with a seemingly innocent game. The subtle rapport built early helps. The genius is in those interpretations, universally applicable, yet they feel incredibly specific to her. It makes her feel you can read her soul.
And that leads to deeper conversation.
Often leads her to spontaneously reveal intimate details, accelerating emotional closeness. The game provides tons of natural follow-up topics, sets the stage for profound connection, potentially intimacy.
Practice tips for mastering the cube.
Memorize the questions and the general positive interpretation angles for each element. Practice adapting your interpretations to always be flattering and insightful. Make her feel profoundly understood. Focus on building curiosity and rapport during the game. Don't rush the interpretations. The aim is genuine connection by making her feel deeply seen and understood, building rapport and her self-esteem.
Okay, wow, that's a lot of powerful patterns. Golden light, onion girl, sexual freedom, challenging superficiality, friend destroyer, dream man, beauty is fleeting, inner drive, that's me, and the cube. So if we tie this all together, what's the big picture here?
Well, connecting it to the bigger picture, the overarching benefit of really understanding and, more importantly, practicing these patterns is potentially transformative for your interactions.
How so?
It's about moving beyond just superficial chat. You know, the weather, what you do for work, and creating genuine, deep emotional bonds. These techniques can accelerate intimacy and attraction because they skillfully address women's, human deepest desires, fears, internal conflicts.
Just speaking their subconscious language almost.
In a way, yes. When delivered authentically, with genuine good intent, they offer a subtle yet profound way to foster connection. Connection that feels organic, deeply personal, and, potentially powerfully magnetic. It's about becoming a master of understanding, of resonance, not just, memorizing a bunch of lines.
Right, it's about the underlying principles. Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting for everyone listening. What does this all mean for you?
Mm-hmm.
Here's your challenge for this week. Pick just one of these patterns that really resonated with you. Maybe it's guiding someone through their golden light visualization. Maybe it's playing the cube next time you're getting to know someone. Or maybe it's just sharing a piece of your own personal story, something that feels like, that's me.
Start small, apply one thing.
Try it in your next conversation, maybe with someone you're hoping to connect with more deeply. Notice the subtle shifts. Observe her reactions, the nonverbal stuff too. See how the dynamic changes when you tap into these deeper levels of communication.
And that actually raises an important question to reflect on. Consider this. If simply understanding and applying these kinds of conversational patterns can dramatically change how others perceive you, how they connect with you, what does that really reveal about the true nature of human connection itself?
That's a deep thought.
Is connection maybe more about the stories we tell each other, the emotions we evoke, the subconscious signals we send and receive, than we ever consciously realize? It makes you wonder, doesn't it?
It really does. About how much is happening beneath the surface of every conversation.
We've really only scratched the surface today, obviously.
Yeah.
But the journey to mastering authentic, deep connection, it starts with a single, well-chosen word, maybe a thoughtful question, and a genuine understanding of the mind. So go out there and explore its power.